A day of history for India, as 2 weeks after the Pahalgam attacks, India attacked multiple terror sites in POK and in Pakistan, in many ways avenging the victims of Pahalgam terror and imposing on Pakistan a new red line for its state sponsorship of terrorism. It's called Operation Sindoor, and we've been breaking every aspect of it since early this morning. But for the last 6 hours, I've been here at the line of control in the Uri sector of Jammu and Kashmir, where things have escalated in a very, very troubling manner, because Pakistan, not happy with using terrorists to target innocents in Pahalgam, has now responded to Operation Sindoor by targeting civilians in villages close to the line of control. I spent time in villages where shells fell during the early hours after Operation Sindoor to see the fear and loathing among civilians who live there on the front lines, to see shells and mortars falling and destroy their livelihoods every few years. Take a look at this special ground report from Line of Control Uri. As the sun begins to set on Line of Control in Uri sector, we've come to village Kalgi Ramgi. This is the house that belonged to a joint family of about 35 people, 4 families of 35 people. And there were 2 more families of neighbors who were visiting and actually staying with them once the shelling actually started after Operation Sindoor. And I just want to take you inside, first of all, on the outside to show you this entire house, very typically built Kashmiri house, has been completely destroyed. You can see from the outside that the metal bars, the concrete, all in pieces because of the Pakistani mortars or shells. And now let me just venture a little bit inside to show you the damage. Just rubble, complete damage everywhere. This is the very typical sitting room or common room with carpets. Look at what it looks like right now. Completely smashed. Dust, glass pieces, concrete pieces and debris absolutely everywhere. There's a school ID, a public school ID card over here on the floor as well, probably belonging to one of the children. That's also on the floor, a very awful and horrifying image that. And this house is filled with them. Just take a look at this. Just take a look at the utter damage you see in every frame. This is the main living room of the house. The kitchen is also completely destroyed. This would have been the dining room, completely smashed into pieces. All the furniture, everything absolutely rubble right now. We've been advised not to go upstairs because apparently the roof superstructure is creaking and may fall at any moment. Some people had tried to go in a little earlier and they realized that that it was not safe to do that, and therefore they've been barred from going upstairs. But the miraculous thing about this house in village Kalgi Ramgi in near LOC Uri is that all 35 people in the house managed to escape with some minor injuries, because this is one of the rare villages in this house that actually contains, that has a few bunkers beneath them. But I want to talk to some residents who have chosen to remain in the village at this point of time. This entire family that whose house you're looking at in this report, they've gotten out of here, they've run away from here, but we found a few villagers who've decided to stay because they don't have a choice. Sir, आप इसी गांव के हैं, क्या हुआ था कल रात को?
कल रात को ऐसा हुआ सर कि 2-2:30 बजे के आसपास में शीलिंग स्टार्ट हो गई। तो यहाँ पे जितने भी ये घर हैं, यहाँ पे 2-2:30 बजे के बाद जब ये फायरिंग हुई तो हम घर छोड़ के भाग गए। उसके बाद हमारा ये छोटा जैसा यहाँ पे बैंकर बनाया था, हम लोगों ने खुद ही बनाया इसको। इस बैंकर को कोई इतनी फैसिलिटी नहीं है, ये हम अपने जेब से इसको थोड़ा बहुत ही बनाया था। जी सर, दिखाएंगे। वो हमने खुद बनाया था सर। वो बनाने के बाद जब ये इसमें 30-35 बंदे थे यहाँ पे, ये चार फैमिली यहाँ पे ज्वाइंट है। उसके बाद यहाँ पे 1-2 घर और भी आए थे, वो यहीं पे थे। जब जिस वक्त ये शीलिंग
बाहर से भी आए थे क्योंकि इस घर में बंकर था, तो सुरक्षा के लिए।
हाँ बिल्कुल, इसमें 2 घर और बाहर से आए थे इस बंकर के अंदर सर। यहाँ पे हम
just look at this tiny little bunker entrance. Okay, it's a small little place. Okay, you can see children's shoes still inside, a little bit of a carpet, some pillows. I cannot imagine. 35 लोग इसमें आए थे.
35 लोग, हम एक दूसरे के ऊपर बैठे थे.
So this tiny little bunker saved the lives of 35 people. Since they already are in the line of fire. They are aware of when they need to rush to the bunker. Two fortunate families who happened to be here because this family had a bunker obviously were able to prevail upon this family to also take them in, and that's the reason why their lives are saved. Once again, we've been showing you through our ground reports through today the telltale signs of what a mortar or a shell impact looks like. Look at the telltale fragging of metal because of the shards of the mortar and shells that actually land. This is all that's left of this particular house. Where these people have gone, when they will return, is not known just yet. But even this house, this neighboring house here, you can see the damage is extensive there. One doesn't know whether the people there were able to make it out, but thankfully no casualties in this part of the Galgi Ramgi village. That is actually a small barn where there were goats. Many of the goats, we were told, were injured and they've been taken and shifted to another place. So innocent lives of villagers, non-combatants, people who have nothing to do with Pakistan, directly and deliberately in the line of fire. And perhaps the most worryingly damaged house is this one that we found again on LOC Uri. Just take a look at the corner of this house that's been absolutely ripped open like butter, like by a Pakistani shell or a mortar. Now, you can see the wall, it's double layered boulder stone, and it's been just completely neatly ripped open by a mortar that landed here. Again, miraculous escape for the residents here. Just look at the damage on the inside. The boulders have come washing in. There were people sleeping here apparently, and they managed to get out with just some injuries.
अब जहाँ जब शिलिंग हो रही थी हम बाहर नहीं निकले कि हम लोग इधर बॉर्डर पर रहने वाले, हमने तो पहले भी देखे थे
जी,
तो इसलिए जानकारी थी थोड़ी। हमने बोला
कितने लोग रहते थे इस घर में?
इस घर में 4 लोग रहते थे।
अच्छा, कहाँ गए हैं?
भागे, बारामूला चले गए उधर रिश्तेदारों के।
See, I have the privilege of wearing a bulletproof jacket and a helmet right now. These villagers obviously don't even have a bunker, and that's one of the reasons why being here feels so ironic. As a journalist, I get to leave from here, in a couple of hours after reporting their stories, but they are here unprotected in the line of fire, a few kilometers from the line of control, and this is what can actually happen to their homes. If a mortar can do this to a double bouldered, thick reinforced wall, imagine what it could do to a human body. That's the scary part.
गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी हमें कोई ऐसी जवाबदारी नहीं थी, ना कोई गाड़ी, ना कोई इंतजाम गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से नहीं थी। यहाँ पर गवर्नमेंट को भी चाहिए कि हमारा कोई जानकारी करनी।
And all of these people also complain about how there are no bunkers. Only one of the houses in this entire village actually has a bunker. The rest of them actually don't. So it's kind of scary that they need to continue to live. And as the sun sets here in this particular village on LOC Uri, they're just wondering when the shelling is going to start again. We're at the line of control in Salamabad. It's one of the last outposts before the line of control. There are 2 houses here that were struck last night in Pakistan Army shelling here in the Uri sector. These 2 houses have been completely totaled, completely destroyed. There's still a fire burning, if you can see over there, smoke smoldering across this entire pair of houses. Miraculously, no deaths, but 4 people have been severely injured. 2 of them children. One of them has apparently lost a limb as well. They've been evacuated to the Baramulla hospital, which is about 40 kilometers to our rear from here. We're about 10 kilometers from the line of control. I'm surprised that anything is left everywhere else, because it looks like a stray shell may have come and landed here. It appears to suggest that the Pakistan Army, which has been aiming and firing directly, targeting civilian areas, has caused damage deeper inside. And one shell or a couple of shells has come and actually landed here. This has all the telltale signs of artillery damage. You can see shrapnel completely ripping through these metal sheets. These are very clear signs of artillery shrapnel that has ripped open these roof sheets. The walls completely broken, and everything is still burning in these houses. This is a place called Salamabad where there have been some casualties. The 4 people from just this small little settlement over here. We are taking due care, but we are told by villagers that there is further damage closer to the line of control. So that's where we will actually be headed next. But the images you're seeing here on NDTV are the first manifestations of what we've been reporting since the morning, that the Pakistan Army has directly targeted civilian areas. This has nothing to do with the military. There's no army over here. The army brigade is way many kilometers behind where we are. This is a civilian settlement. A rural folk live in this area, and this is what a couple of Pakistani shells has done in this place. These are live images, first on NDTV, that we're bringing to you of what targeting a civilian establishment, a civilian area really looks like. I want to get a word in from one of these people. Sir, इधर आइए. कौन रहते हैं यहाँ पे? कितने लोग जख्मी हो गए इसमें?
इसमें 4 लोग, एक 13 साल की बच्ची, एक 4 साल का बच्चा, तो 2 घर के मालिक.
हाँ. और क्या ये पाकिस्तान के शेल?
हाँ, ये पाकिस्तान का है. रात के 2 बजे का मसला है. तो उससे ये घायल हो गए. तो यहाँ मकानों की बात ही नहीं. मकान
कितने बजे गिरे थे ये शेल?
2 बजे. 2 बजे सोए होते हैं.
हाँ. आप कहाँ थे उस टाइम? हमने सुना ये?
हाँ, हमने ये भरोसी है यहाँ.
अच्छा.
हम तो रात को बाहर आ रहे. 2 बजे के बाद हमारे बच्चे भी बाहर आ गए. उधर इधर लगे भागने. क्या करते भाग.
सर, आप यहाँ रहते हैं? नजदीक में रहते?
इस्लामाबाद का.
कहाँ थे आप जब ये हुआ था?
हम तो घर में रात को 2 बजे.
आपने सुना ये जब ये
वो
हुआ था?
बहुत आवाज सुना.
क्या आवाज था?
वो आवाज था ये
शेल
की थी जी.
अच्छा.
पूरे शेल लग रहे थे. एक तो नहीं था ना, बहुत आ रहे थे.
कितने शेल?
इसको मेरे ख्याल 1-2 लगे हैं मेरे ख्याल में. इसमें
अच्छा.
2 लगे.
जख्मी लोग बारामूला हॉस्पिटल में हैं.
पहले उड़ी लिए, उसके बाद उन्होंने उड़ी वालों ने बारामूला भेज दिए.
जी.
बारामूला हॉस्पिटल में
कितना बुरा है जख्म?
वो जख्म तो सर में भी लगी. हमने उसको देखा नहीं है. सुबह हम खुद डरे थे. हम जंगलों में भाग रहे थे. इधर तो हमारे पास कोई है ही नहीं, सेफ्टी है ही नहीं. क्यों?
तो इस गांव में डर नहीं है अभी?
वो डर तो बहुत है. माल
तो आप यहीं पे
क्या करेंगे? अपना कहाँ छोड़कर जाएंगे? किसके घर जाएंगे? गरीब शख्स कहाँ जाएगा? हमारे पास कोई बैंकर नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, तो कहाँ जाएंगे? अगर बैंकर होता फिर अपनी कुछ सेफ्टी होती. बैंकर ही नहीं है.
I want all of our viewers to hear what this gentleman has just said. For all of those people who say, why don't you get out of the village? Why are you still standing there? This gentleman and this elderly gentleman here have basically told a truth that needs to sink in. People don't have a choice to leave. They have their livelihoods here. This is their home. They've got their children. They've got their agriculture. They've got their jobs here. And this is what Pakistan has done. And I want our viewers to see this. This is a poor family's grain store ablaze right now. It was struck at 2 in the morning. Nearly 12 hours ago. 12 hours ago it was struck, and the fire is still burning. It's a huge heap of wheat, which was the food, of a poor family that lived in these 2 houses, and it is smoldering right now. This is an image that I want to go out to the entire world. Not a military target, not an armed forces target, not a vital establishment, not a vulnerable point. This is a poor family living in Salamabad, Kashmir, close to the line of control, that has been deliberately targeted by a Pakistan shell. And there you have it. Their livelihood, probably the rest of their year's supply of wheat, simply burning in a pile over there. There's nothing left of this house. There's nothing more to really say. Rebuilding it will be, a distant dream for this family once they pick up the pieces of their injuries, and their injured children as well. I mean, just look at these images. Where do you actually start? Where do you start picking up the pieces really once you come to terms that you've completely lost your home, your livelihood? Some of the fields behind here have also been completely destroyed. The elderly gentleman here tells me that this place will not be fixed. And remember, once attention moves on, who's going to come and repair these houses? These are families that do not even have the wherewithal to rebuild their houses. You've got flames there as well. just a testament to what ammunition can really do. Artillery ammunition of the 155 millimeter or 130 millimeter kind has landed in this house. There's a gas cylinder there, very dangerously, lying there on the floor, which could be a hazard. No forensic teams have been able to reach here just yet. The police apparently came for a quick sweep to get the people out, but nothing else has been done. But it's still aflame. The house is still aflame, and it's very likely that it'll probably burn down because much of the superstructure of the houses in this area are made of wood. Take a look at this piece of roofing. Shrapnel, white hot artillery shrapnel flying in every direction. Just look at the gaping holes they've cut, like neat oval holes. Telltale signs of shrapnel simply ripping through metal. This is really, really thick, hard metal used for roofing. It's resistant to, it's all-weather resistant because, it snows and rains a lot over here. Just look at what artillery shrapnel can do to a strong piece of metal. It has completely mangled it. It has perforated it. It is peppered with gaping holes. And this is basically the story of every piece of roofing that we can see here across three structures of one big house, two houses actually. How much more damage we're going to find as we move on ahead, I cannot say, but this is definitely, a morbid appetizer, I would say, to what we're probably going to find as we get a little closer to the line of control now. This is the real view now of the damage. Here it is. Completely collapsed roof, completely collapsed wall of this entire house. Now you get a proper vantage view of the damage that's taken place. The entire roof has blown off. I was trying to look for remnants of the actual shell. Those are very, very difficult to find because they burst into thousands of little pieces and usually get buried, in walls, in the ground, etc. So not easy to find it anywhere here, but clearly an artillery hit right here at Salamabad village. The villagers here, as you just heard some of them say, they don't have the luxury of leaving. Many of them have actually fled. We saw a small tempo traveler full of people from Salamabad getting out of here as quickly as possible. We bumped into them in Baramulla, fearing for their lives. They've left, but many still here because they've just got that helpless look on their faces, saying, where can we possibly go? We can't leave our houses. It's not safe. All our livelihood, all our farms and animals and all those things are here. Everything moving costs money. There's no help from anyone to actually get out of here. So it remains to be seen, whether there will be more damage in Salamabad or elsewhere. Another house that's had its, all of its glasswork completely blown in. The window panes have blown in. The wooden support pillars and support structure completely damaged here. So it not just one or two houses, at least 4 houses either destroyed or damaged very, very badly. This is a house which still has its carpeting because obviously the fire didn't spread to this particular house. But if you can see here, all the glass pieces, the glass shards here, showing the kind of damage from the shockwave of that artillery landing here that has destroyed this house. The door has completely blown off the hinges. There's another door just lying there on the ground here, and this is right next to this house. Images like this one, like what we're seeing over here, just common household items, a gas stove, a pot, mugs, tumblers, a plate rack, coffee cups, all of them just splattered in this one little room. This must have been the family's kitchen, where food was prepared, etc. Completely burnt to ashes, bricks and pieces of stone all over the place. I have no idea when that family will come back or even if they will want to come back to something like this. But this is what Pakistan is doing. We've traveled a short distance from the Salamabad village where you saw all that damage, and we've just chanced upon another house. This is the house of an ex-army serviceman. His 2 daughters were sleeping on this bed when a shell landed outside their house and blasted through the windows. You can see glass pieces all over the bed here. There is damage to the wooden roof, as you can see here. Debris all over the place from the sheer shockwave that has damaged the house. Now, I want to introduce you to the man that we're talking about, the man who owns this house. He has packed off his family out of absolute horror about what happened, because just look at the state of the house. This is a little house in Gingal village here in the Uri sector, not far from the line of control. And the Pakistani shell has left its damage everywhere. Perforations on the stairs, damage to the concrete wall there as well. Here in this little attic space that you see here, very clearly the shrapnel has torn holes in this metal sheet. This is a standard feature that we're seeing in home after home where Pakistani shells have landed since early on the day of Operation Sindoor as a retaliation. Some damage in this room as well. But now I'd like to introduce you to the person of the house itself. I'm going to take you and show you a picture first, and first introduce you to the man. This home belongs to Havildar Mohammad Nasir Khan. As you can see, he's a Maroon Beret. He's an ex-serviceman of the 6th Para Special Forces. One who served with one of the Indian Army's most elite units. Havildar Mohammad Nasir Khan has participated in many operations, and this is him now. That's his picture as a young commando, and this is Mohammad Nasir Khan now. Havildar साहब, पहले आपकी सेवा के लिए हमारी तरफ से बहुत धन्यवाद. आपने बहुत साल बिताए फौज में. कल रात क्या हुआ था ये बताएं. आपकी परिवार ने आपने उनको यहाँ से आपने ट्रांसफ़र कर दिया है, तो क्या हुआ था?
रात को तकरीबन 1 बजे से मतलब थोड़ा फायरिंग स्टार्ट हुआ, तो उसमें थोड़ा कम आवाज़ आ रहा था. तकरीबन 2-3 बजे के बाद में बहुत फास्ट हो गया. जब फास्ट हो गया तो हम एक ही बच्चे सोए हुए थे, उनको उठा के हमने साइड में लिया, और साइड में लेने के बाद में उनको सेव किया. तो मेरे बच्चों को बोला कि भाई आप ज़मीन पर लेट जाओ, ये जो फायरिंग हो रही है तो इससे बचाव एक ही है कि आप ज़मीन पर लेट जाओ. बच्चों को एक साइड में लेटा दिया और मैं भी साथ में लेट गया. उसके बाद में स्टार्ट होगी कार्रवाई. यहाँ पे पूरा जो फायरिंग उन्होंने करनी थी वो कर दी. उसके बाद में इसमें आगे लगा एक गोला, एक इस पीछे कैंप में, उसका फ्लैक्शन पीछे आया. ये पूछा पूरा मतलब इसको पुश किया उसने, पूरा मकान हिल गया. ये नीचे से एकदम हिला, तो हमने सोचा ये सब इसी के ऊपर पड़ गया. लेकिन बाहर निकल के देखा तो बाहर लगा था, और अंदर ये इसका ये पूरा टूट फूट जितनी भी थी अंदर आ गई थी.
This Maroon Beret and the Special Forces means something very, very special in the Indian Army, and I'm actually in a bit of shock that someone like him, who has served in the most dangerous places, in the most dangerous missions, to face something like this from Pakistan during his retirement, endangering his children. This is his beautiful family, his 2 daughters who are not here, of course. They've been moved out because of the absolute damage that happened to the house, and they miraculously survived with only minor injuries. But you saw what happened to that bed. They are not here right now. And I just wanted to show you, look at all these certificates of Havildar Khan Sahab. He has served in Sudan as part of the United Nations. That's a picture of him in the Sudan mission. He has this certificate of appreciation from the United Nations. He has won a United Nations medal. He's a UN medal-winning Special Forces Commando of the Indian Army. And here is his certificate. It has fallen off the shelf from the shockwave of what happened. All his military memorabilia still standing here. And it's truly, truly just incredible that someone like him should face it. And here you have pieces of the... ये टुकड़े हैं वो shells के? जी सर. These are pictures of the shell itself. Take a look at this. This is what has landed in the humble home of an Indian Army former Special Forces commando. Shrapnel pieces of an artillery shell or a mortar perhaps, that have landed here and damaged his home. आप अपने परिवार को कब वापस लाएंगे? आप कब कॉन्फिडेंट होंगे?
अभी जब तक यहाँ का मतलब बिल्कुल सही नहीं हो जाएगा तब तक बच्चों को दूर रखना पड़ेगा। यहाँ पे बच्चों की ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम है क्योंकि ये जो सेलिंग का कोई पता नहीं कब स्टार्ट हो जाएगी कब बंद हो जाएगी, इसलिए तब तक बच्चों को दूर रखेंगे जब तक ये सही नहीं हो जाएगा।
हम होप करते हैं हवलदार साहब कि सब कुछ ठीक होता है, लेकिन जैसे आपको पता है कि उरी सेक्टर में, कुपवारा सेक्टर में, पूंछ सेक्टर में पूरा एस्केलेशन है। आप एक सैनिक थे, आपको पता ही है, आपने अपने आंखों से देखा है कि क्या होता है लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पर। तो मुझे कुछ बताना नहीं चाहिए आपको, क्योंकि आपका फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस है। लेकिन ये शेल के श्रैपनल, ये मोटर के श्रैपनल, एंड लुकिंग एट दीज पीसेज राइट नाउ has sent a shiver down my spine. Just imagine, a soldier who has given his life to protecting the country, given his life to the Indian Army, been through these forests on anti-terror operations because that's what the special forces do, and he's had to move his family away by night to protect them from this that the Pakistan Army has sent his way.